Now, to get some perspective and insight to the discourse, Onyekachi Adekoya, a security and risk management professional, joins us on the news tonight. Onyekachi, thank you so much for agreeing to speak with Galaxy TV News. Now, what do you make of the position of Mr. President following the series of attacks, with the latest being the 317 students kidnapped by armed bandits at Government Girls Science Secondary School in Zamfara State?
So thank you for the question and thanks for having me. Basically, it's almost becoming a free-for-all. It looks like the wheels are coming off completely. So my impression is that this incident further reinforces the state of insecurity in the nation, and it highlights the fact that we have perhaps paid lip service too long to the issue of security. So it would appear that any soft target out there can just be picked up by these terrorists. I like for us to call them what they are. They are terrorists. They are not armed bandits or anything. They've shown linkages to Boko Haram, to ISIS and ISWAP. So they are terrorists, and it looks like they are targeting soft targets. And perhaps they have a sense that if they go for schools, perhaps they get some mileage, media mileage, and maybe have some leverage over government when it comes to the time for a negotiation. So that's the sense I have of the recent happenings in the Northwest and Northeast.
Well, Onyekachi, moving on now, what approach should the federal government employ following the fresh attacks in the Talata Mafara local government area of Zamfara State?
Honestly, firstly, we must acknowledge that the federal government is coming late to the party. This incident has happened now, so everybody has to roll their sleeves up and try again to treat this case on its own merits. So that's what government has to do now. Of course, they know what to do. They know the axis where it happened. I dare say I sense that they know the insurgents operating in that axis. I want to believe that back channel communication would have started now to try and establish contact and to know who exactly has done what and to try and understand what their demands are. I'm sure there would also be movement from the military and state security service personnel in and around those areas, just so that we can get a first sense of who's doing what. That's on the one hand. What I think that we must begin to do very differently, and I do want to side with Governor Ganduje and his aide, who has come out to speak up and say that governors must do more. Governors must do more. I think we must run away very quickly from the case where everybody holds the president responsible for security. Governors are chief security officers of their states. Yes, I understand that they do not control force. However, they have political leadership. They control the wards. They control the local government. They control the structure of the parties in the states. And we need to see the governors do more. They need to do more to mobilize the people, conscientize the people, educate the people, create structures that can help address the issue of insecurity. So I want to see governors take on more responsibilities. As the Governors Forum has said, let them do more. And where we are having continuous failure of security, let's not shy away from calling out the governor for failure in the area of providing leadership and providing a sense of direction for the addressing of some of these issues we are seeing. So let's hold the governors most responsible. Let's also begin to hold the local government chairman. Very importantly, what we see in the north is cases where the local government chairmen are very far from their area of responsibility. Some local government chairmen are in Abuja, some are in the state capital, and nature abhors a vacuum. So we need to look at local government structure, that third tier of governance, what is happening there. And once we focus there and try to close the gap between the people and government, maybe, just maybe, we may begin to understand the local issues on the ground and nip issues on the ground quickly before they snowball into something bigger. So I think that's the change in approach. then layer to the fact that we need to
look just at one final question. Recently, some individuals have taken up the role of negotiators for government. What comes to mind, and what do you think government should do towards improving the nation's security architecture?
Frankly, you can't blame anybody for trying to do something about anything in this country right now. We've heard from the defense minister, who has basically said, you know, everybody help yourself. We've heard from a retired General T.Y. Danjuma, who has said help yourself. We heard the IGP, who has said that security is not one man's business, it's everybody's business. So within the threat context of Nigeria, you can't blame anybody resulting in self-help. But again, self-help must be within the context provided by the state government. As to what we must begin to do differently, I mean, we must take the approach to security local, okay? So we need to now begin to have a bottom-up approach to security, not a top-to-bottom, not the community policing by the federal government. We must have a local arrangement that suits the local threat environment, that is developed by the locals under the supervision and leadership of the state governors with the support of the federal government, not leaving everything for the federal government, because if we do that, we'll be losing the local narrative to the issue of insecurity in the remote community. So that's what we must begin to do differently.
Onyekachi Adekoya, security and risk management professional, would like to thank you most kindly for speaking with Galaxy TV News at this time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.